Assertiveness, Self-Actualization, and Independence, presented by Jennifer Killion. Thank you so much for joining me today in this Emotional Intelligence Week 2 in discussing assertiveness, self-actualization, and independence. First, I'm going to begin with assertiveness. It is the ability to express feelings, beliefs, and thoughts and defend one's right in a non-destructive manner. I like the diagram below in which it shows assertiveness in the middle of aggressive and passive. When you're aggressive, everything is about you. Basically, it's standing up for yourself, but to the point that it's actually infringing on other people's rights. Passiveness is all about others, meaning you don't stand up for yourself. In this way, you're more concerned with what others are thinking or feeling. And being assertive is right in the middle where we should be, in which we stand up for our own rights, but we do so without infringing on the rights of others. An assertive person. Assertive individuals have the right to express personal needs and wishes, to make informed and carefully considered decisions, to be treated with care and respect, to acknowledge having made mistakes, changed one's mind or needing help, to decide and live in the pursuit of one's best interest. Assertive individuals must also recognize that others have these same rights and so take responsibility for not violating the rights of others, but rather act in mutual respect, benevolent perseverance, and politeness. Assertiveness requires partially independent response types. Depending on social, developmental, or situational circumstances, the individual may possess different skills on each type of these responses and find it hard to transfer skills from one situational context to another. Independence. It is the ability to think for oneself and not be unduly influenced by the thoughts, desires, and emotions of others. So I tried to come up with just a few examples off the top of my head of what independence could mean in a workplace. For instance, if there's independence involved, that person would not be falling victim to groupthink. Groupthink is when you are meeting in a team or group, but while meeting in a team or group, basically in the phenomenon of groupthink, everyone agrees just to agree on an outcome and a solution, whether it be the right one or not. But if you're an independent person who's partaking in their independence and embracing their independence, you would not fall victim to the phenomenon of groupthink. So that's a positive way independence can affect the workplace. I do think that independent people tend to question how or why things are done a certain way. In this way, not to be negative, but basically maybe they've come up with a more effective, efficient way to do something. And it also can help with creativity and innovation. So independence has a lot of positive implications for the workplace, and those are just a few that I came up with. Self-actualization strives to actualize one's potential capacity, abilities, and talents, a lifelong effort leading to the enrichment of life. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Abraham Maslow popularized the concept of self-actualization as a process an individual undergoes through life. Maslow's self-actualization. So Maslow further expanded self-actualization into four needs: cognitive aesthetic, self-actualization, and self-transcendence. He called the latter needs being needs or B needs, and the former four needs deficient needs or D needs. Mentally healthy individuals follow a path called growth motivation that allows them to move up this hierarchy from D needs to B needs. The path to self-actualization. As individuals follow this path, they feel more fulfilled. Their attention shifts from self-interest to selflessness, and they dedicate more time to causes outside of themselves and family. Maslow regarded the drive toward self-actualization as beneficial to his society because it would lead to more solidarity, compassion, care, problem solving, and altruism. Our lives are shaped by biological makeup and social conditions on the one hand, and our freely willed choices on the other. Every individual thus faces the danger of becoming fixated on certain deficient needs, or the opportunity to become a self-actualized, altruistic human being. Assertiveness requires that you be independent. Also, independence leads to self-actualization in a lot of ways. People who have reached self-actualization can be assertive and independent as well. So all of these tend to tie into each other. Basically, self-actualization means moving from selfishness to selflessness. To be that type of person, you tend to be independent. You also tend to be assertive, meaning that you stand up for yourself but respect the rights of others. So that's another way that they all tie in together. So tying these into emotional intelligence. So self-actualization is important in emotional intelligence. Basically, when we're able to reach that point in our hierarchy of needs where we feel fulfilled and we have reached self-actualization, we tend to be altruistic, compassionate, caring about others. We tend to look outside of ourselves. That feeds right into emotional intelligence. Part of emotional intelligence is being aware of others' feelings, as well as being aware of our own feelings, and also being able to influence and inspire others. And in a way, you almost have to be at the point of self-actualization in order to be emotionally intelligent, if you think about it in respects to self-actualization. And then assertiveness, being able to stand up for yourself, but also respecting the rights of others. You do have to be aware of other people, and you do have, emotionally intelligent wise, to make sure that you're not impending on their rights. And then independence is definitely part of emotional intelligence. In order to be independent, you do have to be aware of what your feelings are and your beliefs, and so that involves self-awareness, which also has a lot to do with emotional intelligence, as we learned before. And then also going back to assertiveness, another thing as well is that you do have to be able to control or manage your feelings in order to make sure that you're not being aggressive or that you're not being passive, in order to make sure that you are standing up for yourself, but still at the same time respecting that other person's feelings and wants and needs and desires as well. All right. So in summary, just to repeat, we discussed assertiveness. It's the ability to express feelings, beliefs, and thoughts and defend one's right in a non-destructive manner. We discussed independence, which is the ability to think for yourself and not be unduly influenced by thoughts, desires, and emotions of others. And then finally, we did discuss self-actualization, which is the strive to actualize one's potential capacity, abilities, and talents, a lifelong effort leading to the enrichment of life. Thank you so much for your time today and hearing my presentation. The following slide does have references should you wish to learn or read more.